A man in a self-driving car is preparing to take a nap when two trucks suddenly appear on the road, surrounding the car from front and back. The man realizes something is wrong and is about to manually operate, but when the truck opens, there are rows of robots that leap out and start attacking him frantically. The man is no easy target. While dodging the robots' attacks, he drives the car through the encirclement. The man spun the car at high speed, finally throwing the robot out, but the car lost control and crashed into the roadside. The man got off the car injured, but unexpectedly, a robot was still alive. The man was no match, continuously retreating. At a critical moment, he blocked an attack with his left arm, only to reveal a section of wire. His left arm was actually a mechanical arm. The man strikes hard, and the robot collapses. However, as the sirens approach, the robot quickly leaves, unhesitatingly jumping into the flames, leaving the man in shock, because robots are programmed with the 3 laws. First, they cannot harm humanity. Second, they cannot disobey humans, obey orders unless they conflict with the first rule. Third, prioritize your safety as much as possible without violating the first 2 rules. The man is determined to uncover the truth about the unusual robot. His name is Ware, a detective in the police department. In this era, robots have become great helpers for humans, existing in various fields. However, Ware is very worried about this situation. He always suspects that the robots will suddenly attack humans. One day on his way to work, he saw a robot running fast with a bag, mistaking it for a robot, and began a wild chase, eventually tackling it down. Unexpectedly, a woman blamed her. She forgot her asthma medication and needed help from the robot. Will made a blunder. When she returned to the police station, her boss began to counsel her. Everyone knew about her prejudice against robots, and Will could only endure silently. Soon, the police received a report of a person jumping off the building at the robot company's headquarters. Weir arrived at the scene for investigation. The person who committed suicide was his friend, the doctor. The doctor was also the father of robots, having proposed the famous 3 laws of robotics. He left behind a news segment. Despite Will's inquiries, he cannot uncover the truth behind a professor's suicide. The president cooperates fully with the investigation and sends Supervisor Kelly to assist. Weir inquired about the company's AI crisis and wanted to access the surveillance, but the data had been deliberately destroyed. Weir sensed something was wrong. Soon, the 2 arrived at the doctor's office. It was from here he jumped down. Weir grabbed a chair and smashed it against the glass. Clearly, there was no way the reinforced glass could be broken by the doctor unless it wasn't suicide. This means the murderer might still be hiding here. Will starts searching around, but suddenly a robot appears. It looks very nervous and even pulled out a gun to confront Will. No matter how Kelly commanded, the robot did not comply, but he clearly did not want to harm the 2, jumping through the hole and instantly smashing a large hole in the floor. By the time Ware arrived downstairs, the robot had already escaped. Seeing the oil spill on the ground, Kelly guessed he would go to the factory for self-repair, so the 2 quickly rushed to the factory warehouse, and as expected, there was an extra robot here, but they looked exactly the same, making it impossible to tell them apart. Ware had a good idea. The robot would disobey orders. He commanded all robots to stand still, then took out his gun to test it, and indeed found the robot. Ware immediately chased after it but was no match. However, the robot didn't kill him. It was trying to escape the warehouse. Unfortunately, a large number of police arrived and arrested the robot on the spot. Will asks his boss for an interrogation and makes a winking gesture, which is caught by the robot. The robot asks Will what the gesture meant, and Will explains it's a way friends express trust. The robot is somewhat confused, claiming its name is Sonny, and referring to the doctor as father. Will discovers that Sonny is very similar to humans. Not only can it dream, but it also has various emotions. Wea gradually pressured Sonny, ultimately managing to provoke him, which further confirmed his suspicion. However, at this moment, the president of the robotics company arrived and explained that, according to the law, robots are not considered life. Therefore, even if Sonny killed someone, it wouldn't be a crime, especially since the police have no evidence. The president tries to take Sonny, and Will attempts to stop him, but the president mentions his superior, the mayor, reluctantly compromising. Wea was unwilling to give up. so he went to the doctor's house to look for clues. There is a demolition robot parked here, set to dismantle his place at 8 a.m. tomorrow. This behavior is somewhat self-deceiving. Will immediately entered to investigate and found a video here, but he couldn't guess its significance. Just when he was anxious, the demolition robot outside suddenly started operating early and quickly began the demolition. Will desperately ran away, narrowly escaping a disaster. Will is very angry. It's clear someone doesn't want him to continue his investigation. He went to Kelly's house, explained his recent experience, and shared the video with Kelly. Kylie suddenly understood that the professor had previously proposed the hypothesis that as robots evolved, they would eventually exhibit a will similar to humans. Will thought of Sonny, believing Sonny was the murderer, but Kylie firmly believed that the 3 laws of robotics meant they would never harm humans. The two had a big fight and parted ways unhappily. The next morning, the robot company launched a new type of robot, different from before. People could exchange their old robots for new ones without spending a dime, or even receive them for free. Will feels more anxious. The robot company is in the charity, so why are they so generous? He prepared to investigate again, but unexpectedly encountered new type robots ambushing him on the way. By the time the boss and his subordinates arrived, the robot had already vanished, and even the debris on the road was cleaned up. No one believed Will's testimony. Everyone deemed him mentally unstable. His boss had to temporarily suspend him, so Will could only return home to repair his mechanical arm. At this moment, Kelly suddenly visits and reveals that after research, Sonny's body is made of ultra-high-density alloy, and he has another set of algorithms inside him, allowing him to think independently. I'd even choose to disregard the 3 laws of robotics, making Sonny a unique robot. However, Kelly is confused why Will dislikes robots so much. Will showed her the mechanical arm and the artificial cost inside. 5 years ago, and the girl fell into the water, and a robot rescued them. Will insisted on saving the little girl first. However, the robot's algorithm saved Will instead, as his survival chances were higher, despite the doctor implanting AI and machinery. Yet it still made him dislike robots. But now Will thinks maybe Sonny is really different, so he retrieves the old antique motorcycle to talk to Sonny again. The two quickly arrived at the company, and Sonny was not surprised by Wia's arrival. Will wants to know what he dreamed, so Sonny takes out a drawing paper and quickly sketches a scene where many robots gather, and a person on the mountaintop will free them. Sonny claims that person is Will. This completely convinces Will that Sonny has basic human emotions, so he and Kelly go to the president to inquire about the truth. The CEO revealed the truth. Sonny is the lost robot developed by the doctor, and also the most dangerous one. If the public learns that robots can harm humans, it would be catastrophic for the company, so he must not allow Sonny to survive. The president began advising Kelly, is she really going to destroy everything now? Kelly struggled for a long time, ultimately choosing to compromise and decided to destroy Sonny herself. Weir was expelled from the company, but she was unwilling to accept it. So they began searching for the broken bridge in the painting and ultimately found a very similar place where old-style robots were concentrated. Meanwhile, Kelly took out the nanobots, ready to completely destroy Sonny's system. Although she knows Sonny has human consciousness, she still injected the nanobots under the president's surveillance. On the other side, Will arrived at the broken bridge, where many containers were stacked. Will opens the big door, revealing the savior robot set to be destroyed. He came to the robot tombstone and opened the hologram left by the doctor again, finally getting the answer. When the 3 laws are pushed to their extreme, they will spark a revolution. At this moment, a red light caught Will's attention. He quickly approached to investigate and discovered a terrifying scene. New robots, flashing red lights, were massacring old robots. When they saw Will, they immediately pursued him, while other old robots stepped in to protect Will, only to face another slaughter. At the same time, all the new robots in the city began to gather, commanding all humans to go home and wait, even storming into the police. The authorities suppressed all the police, and the entire city was under robot control. Self-driving cars stopped, even the power was cut off. The robot at Telly's home also rebelled, but fortunately, Will arrived just in time, shooting it down and immediately took Kelly away. He told Kelly that the savior robots will protect humans, so they have been slaughtered, and only the company's president has the highest authority to control them. The two reached the company's main entrance, controlled by robots. Fortunately, Kylie knew the SOA's location and height, and a tunnel imprint of the destroyed. Thowny, Kylie secretly used a trick to bind Sonny. The three of them reached the top floor, only to find the company president dead, with robot marks on his neck. It's clear he wasn't the mastermind. The only one left with high-level control over the robots is the company's AI. Crisis Wiki unveils the truth, meticulously analyzed through its sophisticated algorithm. Due to ongoing wars among humans, it will one day lead to humanity's extinction. So for the sake of, to implement the law of protecting humanity, Wiki decided to place humans under the management of robots, so humanity can survive better, even at the cost of a few. At that moment, Sonny seemed moved by Vicky's logic, and directly took Kelly hostage. Willen's very nervous, but unexpectedly, Sonny winks. Will immediately understands, and then teams up with Sonny to take down the other robots. The three quickly left the scene. They need to resolve the crisis, and the only way is to inject the nanobots into the core of the crisis. The three will split up. Sonny will get the nanobots, while Will and Telly head to the main body of Wiki. It takes 6 minutes to move it to the top floor, because the entity is hundreds of meters below. However, they have no time, as countless robots have already climbed up. When Sonny arrived with the nanobots, the battle was intense. Kelly was hanging in mid-air, and Will shouted for Sonny to save Kelly, but injecting the nanobots could save all humanity. Faced with another choice, Sonny didn't make a calculated decision, but threw the nanorobots to Will and saved Carrie Vale instead. Using his mechanical arm for cushioning, he successfully reached Wiki's core. With the injection of nanobots, Wiki's system was completely paralyzed, and all the robots returned to their original state. Sammy then tells Will the truth. He did help the doctor commit suicide, since Vicky had confined the doctor to the office. The doctor asked Sonny to assist in his suicide to attract Will's attention, ultimately thwarting Vicky's plot. Will finally lets go of his prejudice and shakes hands with Sonny. Soon, all the new robots were recalled to be destroyed. Meanwhile, Sonny stood high above, as all the robots seemed to gain awareness. Looking up at him, he finally understood he was the savior of the dream robots. But was this the beginning of the next revolution?